Hello, fellow Americans. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Politics. As always, I'm your host, Clayton Terry. And in this podcast, I'm going to give you guys a kind of an update of what's been going on in my life and tell you a little bit more about the future. So starting off, I've noticed that I've fallen off a little bit with the podcast. And quite frankly, I've been using some excuses with it. Oh, other stuff's coming up. I need to create reels. I need to do this. I need to meet with this person. And I'm realizing that I need to bring back, what I really need to do is bring back that structure of updating and releasing 2 podcasts per week. Why? Because you guys deserve it. You guys are some of the most amazing people in the entire universe. And you deserve it. And I owe it to you to keep you up to date. Even if it's me just rambling about nonsense. You guys deserve it. However, let me give you a little bit of an update of what's been going on. Today I had an amazing meeting, and I've been cranking out some reels. We'll get into the meeting in a second, but I've been cranking out some amazing Instagram content. You can find it on Instagram at Clayton Q. Terry or on TikTok also at Clayton Q. Terry. And they've just been fun to make. They've been great to make. It's great to see the ideas that are already out there. And it's amazing to see that this type of content is going viral. Because to me, it just amplifies the message that is trying to get across here with American Congress Party. It just amplifies that this is the path. To get more specific, you'll have to check out the reels that I've been creating on those platforms. So that's been a big effort. And I guess I'm going to use this time right now. If anyone knows a video editor, and you don't even really have to be that good, because it's a lot of tedious work, and I could honestly make a video to show someone to do it. So if someone wants to learn how to make viral reels, I can teach you how at the low cost of just making them for me. So if someone's in the market, shoot me a DM on Instagram at Clayton Q. Terry. I could use all the help I could get. So what else have I been doing? Yes, today I had a meeting with a lady. I want to try to keep it ambiguous because I didn't get her permission to speak on her behalf, but she is an overdose prevention officer, specialist, whatever it is. I apologize. I don't mean that in a demeaning way. I forget exactly what her title was, but it was like an overdose prevention specialist. That was it. It's a mouthful. And she informed me about what are called SSPs, which is Sterile Syringe Programs. And I believe there are about 20 states that currently do SSPs, Sterile Syringe Programs. And the core concept is to give out syringes that are sterile so that people can use them, and it mitigates a lot of the disease. It sounds like an interesting idea. I don't know what the data shows, and the point, I think, though, that got out of the conversation was, let me finish that thought first. So I'm not really sure what the data says about states that take on SSPs, but it does seem like it's a very beneficial thing for the people who are engaging in those types of drugs. Where the conversation kept going and what I tried to get to is it seemed like a lot of their work was kind of at the back end, if you will. Like once someone has the addiction, how do we limit the overdosing? How can we keep it safe? How can we keep it clean? And then I kind of asked her, pretty much this is like, hey, this is all back end focused. What can we do on the front end? And to her reply, it was about getting into hospitals. There's a big stigma in regards to hospitals who don't want to bring in these types of patients, repeat offenders, if you will. Even down to, and this is where it got really juicy, this is where I saw the deep alignment. She started talking about our education program, how we don't get educated on these drugs that we use, how we have police officers who come in and try to educate kids on drugs. And it's like authority figure. It's not like a safe space in order for kids to actually explore what the idea of a drug is. We also discussed how the education is framed around not framed around, but how within the education, when they talk about marijuana and then someone tries marijuana and then they're like, oh, that wasn't too bad, nothing terrible happened to me. And then they go up the ladder and then start trying other things because the education system has labeled all of these as the same. You could look at this in terms of Schedule 1 drugs, for instance. Marijuana, Schedule 1. LSD, Schedule 1. Psilocybin, Schedule 1. Cocaine, Schedule 1. Heroin, Schedule 1. Whenever all of these are completely different compounds. So we definitely agreed that we need to upgrade the education system in order for us to bring the awareness to these compounds. We also talked about sexual education or sex education. Sexual education. Sex education. That sounds funny. Anyhow, sex education. We discussed that and discussed how that's not even talked about. And so then kids think you're going, to hell or things are terrible going to happen if you do have sex. You have sex and then it's not bad and then it makes you question everything you've been taught. And I believe that this was a very strong correlation in regards to the drug use. I mean, I think that the conversation basically went down this rabbit hole of us really not having honest conversations with kids. And maybe that even just starts with having honest conversations with ourselves. That feels like a very powerful point to leave it on. So that's the updates that I have for you guys. I'm going to do my best to make these more quick, more readily available. If I'm being honest, I forgot whenever I was uploading this. Was it every Monday, Thursday? I'm going to go back to the Monday, Thursday schedule. And I appreciate you guys. Hope to see you guys watching the reels. And I know for sure if I don't see you watching the reels, then I will see all of you in the 6th dimension.